Okay, so today we are in my kitchen again because it's winter time and I can't go outside and garden, and I don't have anything to update on dogs or puppies or anything like that. So we are going to prepare today Mexican style spaghetti, or espagueti. And what you need for this recipe is patience. No. What you need for this recipe is pretty simple. You are going to need an onion, preferably a white onion, because it's not sweet. You're going to need some whole bay leaves. They're also called laurel leaves. You're going to need garlic. You're going to need red tomatoes. The redder they are, the better. You're going to need butter. I prefer using real butter, unsalted. If you want to use margarine, you can. I do also have a pack of sazon. It is the one with the enchote chili in it that makes it really red. I have some queso fresco, and I have a box of spaghetti noodles here. I don't have thin spaghetti. I just use regular spaghetti because thin spaghetti kind of sticks together. And what I have on my stove here is a pot of water that I have a spoonful of salt, some oil, and I am going to put in some of these laurel leaves. And 1, 2, that's a small one, 3, 4. We're going to put in 5 laurel leaves because there was one tiny one. All right, so they go into the boiling water, and then I am going to get out the tools that I need. Because this is going to be pretty heavy, I need to get my pitchfork, fork, and I need to get my slotted spoon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook the spaghetti just partially. It's not going to be cooked all the way. And right now I'm actually going to just use half of this box, which this box is 2 pounds. So I'm basically just going to use a pound or a half of the box. I'm going to put that in there. Yeah, so that's basically about half the box. And while that's getting ready to cook down, I did wash all my tomatoes and my onion is right there. So I am going to cut the bad part of the onion. Now, if you do want it sweet, like I said, to me, white onions aren't sweet like some other onions. I think yellow onions and purple onions are a little bit sweeter, but I like using the white onion because it does have a bolder and tangier, bolder flavor. Not so sweet. I'm just going to peel it, and I'm going to, and it's a smaller onion, not anything so big. And with my tomatoes, I am just going to pit my tomatoes, and with the amount of spaghetti that I have, the half a box, I'm going to probably use probably 7 tomatoes. So I'm getting them ready here, and I'm keeping an eye on my spaghetti because here in a second, once that bottom starts getting soft, I'm just going to get the rest of it in the water. Now, I do see people who just dump the whole tomato in their blender. I actually like cutting off the top and the bottom of it. So right now, my spaghetti noodles are starting to get soft. And again, I don't want to cook them all the way, so I'm just going to leave them in here for just a couple of minutes with the laurel leaves.
So by the time I'm done with my tomatoes, my my spaghetti should be ready to be taken out. And that tomato had a piece that wasn't too good looking on it. But whenever I'm making this spaghetti, like I said, I try to buy the tomatoes that are red. If they're not red, then I let them sit in my window for a couple days until they actually do get redder. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna give this a quick mix so that way the noodles don't stick. And then I'm going to get some bigger ones because these are kind of small. 6. Also in this recipe, if you like, you can actually use ham. Basically the Bavarian sliced ham, and you can, you know, dice that up and put it in here after it's done cooking. You can also use shredded cheese. But right now I am just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we have our 7 tomatoes, and they are beautifully red. And this isn't a recipe that takes forever. It's just it's a pretty quick recipe. But then again, with pasta, you know, you definitely need to make sure you have time to cook the pasta and let it set. So I have my tomatoes here, tomatoes, onions, and then I'm going to clean this up. Okay, and again, like I said, all of my stuff is already cleaned and washed. So here we have the noodles. They're about halfway cooked. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna try to take out the laurel, they're laurel, but they're also called bay leaves. Bay leaves are laurel leaves. Alright, I thought that there was one more, but okay, so you see it's just cooked enough to where it's starting to get pliable. And we're gonna strain it. Alright. One noodle in. Now, with this hot right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my stick of butter. I don't have that on yet, but I thought I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I put 5, but then I gotta put just that 4. But that's okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this on low. Get the butter melting, and then I have my blender, and I am going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things of garlic, and they are smaller garlic. And the garlic that I'm using, I actually buy the big bag of garlic at Sam's Club. And I use a big plastic container, and I will pour avocado oil and olive oil in it, and I will get that pickled so it doesn't go bad. Okay, so we have our garlic, and then we're going to start putting half of the tomatoes in here with some of the onion. Okay. And I am going to get some water. Oh, and I forgot, you also do need some chicken bouillon. Also chicken bouillon. So, while that is doing, I'm going to come over to my handy-dandy refrigerator and get some filtered water. But whenever you make this spaghetti, you can serve it with mayonnaise, mayonnaise with lemon, or chipotle, or you can sprinkle it with parmesan cheese. There's all kinds of different things that you can do with this recipe. So I'm getting a big glass of water here because I'm going to need to do my blender twice. So instead of coming over here and filling my glass halfway up twice, I'm just going to fill it up all the way once. And the reason why I cook the spaghetti noodles only halfway, because when I make this sauce, I want the noodles to actually get cooked and absorb sauce. Alright, so I am going to blend. And you see my butter is now liquid, so I'm going to put my bay leaves back in there. I'm going to add my pack of sazon because it does give it just a little bit of flavor, but I actually want the sazon in there to help boost that red color. And then I'm going to blend this well. And I'm going to fast forward this part. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I have my first batch of sauce here, and I'm going to pour it in. And then I'm going to turn my heat up now. And I am going to do the same thing except no garlic. I'm going to put my tomatoes and onions and not quite all of the water. And then I'm going to blend this again, make sure it's smooth, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're done with the blender, so we're just going to put that there. And the second sauce, now we're going to turn it up even higher. So right between medium and high. I am not going to add any more water. And we're just going to give it a stir. It has got, so far, the laurel leaves in it and the packet of sazon. And I am actually going to now add one kind of heaping spoon of chicken bouillon. Now, if you taste it, you can add more or less if you want. But this is just Mazola chicken bouillon. I do use a couple different chicken bouillons. Mazola, this one doesn't have a yellow coloring, but I am only going to put a half a soup spoon of salt. I don't want it to be too salty. We can always add some salt later. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this, because right now everything is raw, so I'm going to let this cook for a couple minutes. And when it changes the color and how it looks, then I'll add the noodles, and then I'll let the noodles cook. And after it cooks, I will break up the queso fresco and add that. I think I'm also going to probably add some shredded cheese, because you can add some shredded cheese just to add a little bit more flavor to it. So once that boils, I'll be right back and show you what it looks like and what you do. Okay, so it's just been a couple minutes, and this is what it's turned into. It has changed from that raw, pale looking color to a bright more like a liquid than just a paste. So right now I am going to do a taste for salt and flavor. Okay, so I am going to put in just a little bit more chicken bouillon because it does still have just the slightest overtaste of tomato still, just the slightest. So before I put my noodles in, this is where I want to be able to adjust the flavor because I don't like it tasting too tomatoey. But
you don't like tomatoes.
Yeah, but that right there should be good. And again, this isn't the Italian kind of like spaghetti where it's got the spaghetti and meatballs and all the herbs and all that. This is, yeah, that's better. So adjust the taste as you like. If you need to add salt now. But
This is the only spaghetti I like to eat.
yeah, Sonia does not like red spaghetti. She likes Alfredo stuff.
Alfredo. But I like this one.
All right, so remember I still do have the laurel leaves in there. Once the spaghetti is done, then I do try to pick them out. Okay.
Shh, don't tell her.
Eat noodles. Okay, so we have the heat that was still high, and we're going to keep it high for a little bit because we do want to start getting these noodles cooked with the extra water that's in here.
Yeah, they need to be cooked.
Yes, so these are, which is why I'm using this to kind of keep them separated so we don't get clumps. So we're going to keep it on high for a few more minutes, let these cook, and after we do that and let them cook a little bit, then we're going to turn it to medium low, let it cook again, let some of that sauce evaporate. And while I'm doing that, I am going to actually break up queso fresco. Use as much as you like. There's no proper way. You know, if you like queso fresco and it's your thing, use a whole bunch of it. If you don't like it, don't use it, or if you just want to add a touch. But I am going to be adding a little bit of the Colby Monterey Jack cheese to it. Just a little bit, not a whole bunch, because I do want to add just a little bit of taste. And again, it's just your preference. If you do like a lot of cheese, go for it. All right, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so it has been cooking on medium high for a while. I'd say maybe about 5 minutes. Now I'm turning it down to a medium low. Now you can see that the noodles are getting cooked more. They're not cooked all the way yet. Oop, they're loud to splatter. Oh, I just splattered again. You know what? This is just, it happens. Something always happens when I'm cooking.
Stay away from
All right, so what I'm going to do is just give it a good mix and keep an eye on it. It should cook on low until more liquid is absorbed or evaporated. It gives it a chance to go ahead and keep cooking. So keep an eye on it. You know what? I'm actually going to turn it on my low so that way it doesn't burn at the bottom. And once it gets completely done and ready, I will take out the laurel leaves and then I'll add the cheese. So I'll be back in just a couple more minutes so you can see. Okay, so it's been another couple minutes and I am removing all the laurel leaves, all the bay leaves, because if I put the cheese in here with the leaves, they all kind of just get yucky and gross. So I remove those, and as you can see, the noodles are really starting to get cooked. They're, I would say, about 90% cooked, and it has reduced. Now you don't want it to be completely dry, so you do want it to be just a little bit wet. And what I'm going to do is I just broke off like a fourth of my block of queso fresco, and I put it in here. And then I'm going to take, this is my bag that I got at Sam's Club. I actually am going to separate it into smaller bags and put it in the freezer. But from this bag here, I'm just going to take a handful, not a whole lot. Again, you can adjust the cheese as you need or as you want. If you want it cheesier, you can always add more cheese or less cheese or no cheese. Okay, so I am just going to take and fold it in, and I'm actually going to turn my heat off. Sounds like the male person is coming. My dog's outside getting bothered. Okay, so again, you see it's still saucy. Don't worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to keep it off, and we are going to cover it, and we're going to let it set for about 15-20 minutes ish, give or take. 20 minutes is good. The longer that it sets, the better that the pasta absorbs the flavor of the sauce and everything. So we're going to let it set, and then I will show you some of the different ways you can eat it with. Again, you can cut up ham into small squares, dice it, and put it in here. I don't have ham with me right now, so I am not putting it in, but you can. I would say stick to just regular ham, or Bavarian ham is really good. Black Forest ham is also really good. I don't like putting anything sweet like honey ham or anything in here. So this is where I am going to just kind of let it set. I'm going to clean up the kitchen a little bit. While I'm waiting for this to set, I'm going to separate my cheese, finish some dishes and that, and get everything cleaned up. So I'll be back in just a little bit when it's ready to plate. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes-ish, and this is what our spaghetti ends up looking like. So it has absorbed about 95% of all the liquid. It is fully cooked. It is wonderful and moist and not dry at all. And what you can do, let's see, I'm gonna set it over here because it's hot. I am actually going to get some steaks cooked to go with it. You can cook milanesa. There's another meat that's a meal something. But you can use thin steak, you can use chicken, you can use something a little bit thicker. You can use breaded, not breaded. I'm just going to cook some steaks to go with it. And I'm also going to toast some garlic toast. And we have a couple things that you can top with it. So you can do Parmesan cheese if you like. My husband does like putting chipotles and sauce on them with some mayonnaise. And if we don't have the mayonnaise, the Mexican Hispanic kind, then we will use just the regular mayonnaise and squeeze some lemon juice or lime juice in it. But here in a second, I will get some plated up, and we'll let Sonia try it, and I'm gonna get some steaks starting to cook, okay? Okay, so Sonia here is getting her spaghetti ready. She's putting her Parmesan cheese on it. I myself am not going to indulge in the spaghetti today. I am starting a new way of eating. So we are dependent on Sonia here in her weekend get up to let me know how it tastes. Hello, baby. You hungry? I just made spaghetti and I'm gonna make some steak.
Yep, that's good.
What do you think? Does it need any more salt? Does it need anything, or?
Needs a nice steak.
Needs a nice steak. All right, but other than that, everything's well cooked in there. Nice flavor.
Yep.
All right, so She's eating it. Tastes good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's as easy as 1, 2, 3 spaghetti. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I'm going to make some toasted bread and some steaks to go with it. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you like, and leave a comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. See you in the next video. Bye.